the ability to be flexible and dynamic and have these micro workloads that are going to move consistently across these platforms becomes a major differentiator and a change in, the way the market had been running with these kind of, monolithic stacks.
Yeah, I think for us, we didn't traditionally start out on GPUs, right? I think, obviously this whole space, I don't think anybody could predict that 5 years ago where this was heading, and then that neoclouds are flourishing as much as they are today, and all of these sovereign movements that are happening today. It's certainly an exciting time, and there's so much greenfield IT being built. Being part of that stack and doubling down on that opportunity was just very, very clear for us that we had to play a role there. And I think, I'm not sure if that ever crossed your mind, but there's obviously like a lot of, traditional enterprise Kubernetes offerings out there, but they're not really targeting this space as closely as we do. And they might come with a lot of the overhead and like complexities that, a large bank might have, but I think everybody today seems to look for the leanest possible, but still resilient and scalable stack, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I think that was kind of one of the things for me personally. I've kind of lived within this infrastructure as a service world for the last 20 years. And, could I have predicted 5 years ago where we are now? Like I've told the conversation with my kids, like if I told myself 5 years ago what I was doing now, I would kind of laugh at myself of the scale and the size and, the number of zeros behind the price of every piece of equipment. Like it really is a great time. But, when you look at the platforms and the focus on how we can leverage that underlying asset, whether it's a CPU or a GPU, because CPUs are still critically important in this equation of AI. Something has to feed the GPUs. And now, as we see with new platforms and the integration of Grok and the advent of other things that are coming with TPUs and NPUs and all the XPU things that are coming to market, the ability to be flexible and dynamic and have these micro workloads that are going to move consistently across these platforms becomes a major differentiator and a change in, the way the market had been running with these kind of, monolithic stacks and single hypervisor systems and things like that. The advancement in the platform and the speed, the announcements of vMetal and the capabilities of vNode and all these components is really, I think, what drove a lot more of the interest in kind of the tech stack of why was vCluster different and why was it a fit for Cumulus.